Breaking today, as if it wasn't enough that she's a commercial failure, a charity failure, Meghan Markle's grand plan to return to acting and to woo Jeff Bezos, the Amazon boss, to give her a major movie role, well, it has already hit the skids because sources have revealed that her acting return, the first role that she has taken since Suits, was an embarrassment, a total disaster. In fact, she was so wooden, according to people on set, that she made Kim Kardashian look like an Oscar winner. Now, if you've seen any of Kim Kardashian's new drama, All's Fair, you'll understand exactly how bad that is. So let's get into this reporting from Radar Online, which is hilarious. You've got to laugh. She deserves this shit, right? Meghan Markle has returned to acting for the first time in nearly a decade, but early reactions from those with knowledge of the production told Radar Online suggest the Duchess of Sussex's performance has drawn unflattering comparisons, with one insider saying it makes Kim Kardashian look like an Oscar winner. Meghan's set to appear in Close Personal Friends, an upcoming feature starring Lily Collins alongside Brie Larson and Jack Quaid. Her return to acting has therefore been read by industry figures as both symbolic and strategic. By the way, what's so bad about this? She's playing herself. She's wooden, even though she's playing herself. You couldn't make it up. So a source familiar with the production told Radar there was a lot of curiosity about how she would read on camera after so many years away. The genuine response was one of surprise, but unfortunately not a positive one in the end, as the performance came across as rigid and overly aware of itself. There are jokes going around that by comparison it is so wooden it will make Kim Kardashian's acting seem almost awards level. One critic, of course, had described Kim's performance as like an emotional range or magnetism. Another source with knowledge of Meghan's role in Close Personal Friends, Dress Markle, was playing herself in the project, but said she isn't even very good at that when cameras are switched on. They added skilled actors and comics like Larry David can send themselves up on camera. But Meghan just doesn't have the irony or acting chops to carry it off. She just came across as super wooden and hyper aware of the camera, a cardinal sin in big screen acting. A third source who observed Markle on set said it was clear she wanted to make a point by taking on the role, but acting is something that needs constant practice, and she has been away from it for a long time. Next to experienced actors, the gap was hard to miss. The insider added that there was no hostility towards Markle, only surprise at how tentative she appeared. Angela Levin, our royal mastermind, Prince Harry's biographer. The reviews are in. And not only can Meghan Markle not run a business, not run a charity, the only thing that she's apparently meant to be good at is another disaster for her. Are you surprised?
No. She doesn't know who she is. That's why I'm not surprised. She doesn't know whether she is very kind, whether she looks after people, whether she is a wonderful person from the palace, but they haven't understood her. She doesn't know who she is. She pretends that she's all sorts of different people. You see her with some people, she's got her hands around them at the flames in America. Then, everything was burning and she was going up and she was taking them, making sure that there was a camera there. There we are, that's the one. Cuddling this woman, and she kept on looking at her, cuddling her, but she's in the middle line, everybody else on either side of her. She's just playing. She acts, but it's not real. She doesn't know who she is, but she knows how to be in a picture and how to pretend that she's showing her heart to somebody who she's walked over their house with everything underneath rotten, but she's got to do that because it make a nice picture. No, but she always thinks about me, 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 me. But there's so many me's now with her that she messes it all up. She's not honest, is she? I mean, you see this with her father. I have to bring that back again. How would anybody behave like that? I'm not saying how dare he speak to someone else without my agreement. He's a father, for God's sake. And also, she just sort of said, I don't want to know. And that's it. So what's she like? And then the next minute, she's cuddling people. And it's not because that she hates him. I mean, there is rumours that she's going to come out with reasons why she doesn't want to have been with him, but because she won't do them now, I'm sure they're not true. And she's just the, 100 sides of Meghan. That's why she can't do it. If she was told to act something, she might be a bit better, but she's not a good actress. She's never has been, and she was going to be sacked before she met Harry. But she doesn't know who she is. She can't cope it if she's with the royal family, and everyone's going round. She doesn't know what to do. She gets, she walks about all very awkwardly because she's not confident there. And so she doesn't know who she is, so none of us do either. And I don't know that many of us want to.
No, we don't. And clearly, this was a bit of a test, wasn't it? Her dipping the toe in the water because Netflix never wanted her to act in anything, Angela. So she thought, well, Jeff Bezos, he wants a piece of me. And she was apparently very flirty at the Kris Jenner 70th party. Lauren Sanchez absolutely has the measure of this woman because there are probably a lot of similarities between the two women. Let's be honest. They know how to get
They're
their
not talking
man.
to her now. They're not talking to her now. They're absolutely furious that she took away attention because she was saying, don't do these pictures, you've got to get rid of them. They want nothing more to do with her. I mean, she can't actually stay with friends really, or staff, or anything. Because of her way of approaching things. And this would be the same thing in a film. She wanted the top producers and directors to make a film with her, but nobody would because they could recognize that she can't step into another body, and pretend that's who you are. And the good ones can do it amazingly. So you don't even know who, how they could ever be like that. But she can't. She can't get away from herself because also she's very important to herself.
And there was a
So
reason, Angela, though, too, why Grace Kelly, despite loads of offers, never returned to acting. And let's be honest, she was one of the best actors of her generation, right? Before she
yes.
became a royal.
To a stage, don't you, of how you can't move back, or it's not right for you to do that. I think most people get that at one level. We don't go and act, but you do suddenly find that you've changed and you can't behave in one way anymore.
100%. And you just have to remember the fact that Meghan is even doing this movie, Angela, is a total admittance of defeat on her part because she made it very clear when she entered the British royal family that she'd never be going back. She knew she was lucky to get through, right? I mean, she pretty much played herself in Suits, right? It was an
Yes.
easy role. She knew she had achieved everything she possibly could in acting. She knew she was never going to make it in the movies. She knew she was never going to get a bigger or better TV series, all of that. And it's already an admittance that things haven't worked, the fact that she has gone back. But
But the
Angela,
Queen,
sorry,
sorry,
you
the
go.
Queen said she could carry on
Yes,
acting, but she
100%.
just wouldn't. But if you go back now and watch the interview of when they announced their engagement, you can see that she looks totally phony. You might not have said that at the time, but the way she looks up at him, which she still used to do, darling this and darling that, you realize that this is a performance. It's good
100%.
because you don't think it at the time because you're pleased that he's got, Harry's got someone to marry him. That's how I felt. Now I go back and look at it. Oh my God, what a trick. Yes, look, I love you so much. Holding both hands.
It was an acting job from the very
Yeah,
beginning.
yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was an acting job from the very beginning. Astonishing. Now, look, there's this campaign against Prince William, which has been waged by lots of folk in the mainstream media, including this ex-BBC dude, Peter Hunt, who is totally pro-Harry, totally pro-Meghan, and is now trying to claim, Angela, that William has so much control of the media that things are now being hidden from us. This is a new piece for the I newspaper in the UK. And Peter Hunt, of course, is of some note because he is a former BBC royal correspondent who did that, well, one of the first sit-down interviews with Prince William back in the day. But he's now turned on William, as I say, pro Harry and Meghan. This is what he's written, Angela. William has won. His victory over the media is unremarked upon by those he has vanquished. They are settled into their chosen role of offering up largely, well, I guess you would say, largely unchallenging coverage of the king in waiting. And he says this has been William's ever since, applying to all aspects of his life, especially his dealings with the media. After a blip a decade ago when he was briefly nicknamed Work-shy Wills by the tabloids, he now basks in a level of benign attention rarely afforded to public figures. The dominant reason is access and the media's fear of losing it. It's William's trump card, and he's a wily operator. He once temporarily froze out someone who asked questions of his advisors that weren't to his liking. To stay on the inside track, the reporting of William suffers too often from the avoidance of difficult topics such as royal finances and the media's own conveniently short-term memory. There is much that has gone unspoken where William is concerned, not least when it comes to Prince Harry. A silent older brother has relied on sources to brief his side of the Calvinist divide. He's been helped by the media, which in large part has cast Harry as the guilty person and portrayed William as wounded and above reproach. The truth, as always, is more nuanced. Well, Angela, I mean, that just shows you, right, that this Peter Hunt is a propagandist for Harry and Meghan, because how can you look at what's gone down over the past 6 years and say that Harry is not guilty? He wrote the book. He made the TV series. He attacked his brother. He attacked Catherine. He attacked Camilla. But more importantly, Angela, why is there this desperate bid by Harry's allies in the mainstream media, lots of BBC people, to try and trash William at the moment? We've even, Angela, seen it from the Daily Mail, have been sending out the likes of Amanda Patel and Liz Jones to attack the future king. What's going on here? What is this really about?
Well, it's hard to imagine. I think it's absolutely extraordinary because I think that William has behaved with great behavior, and I can't understand why he'd do that. But this is absolutely going on. But I think perhaps he's more organized. Maybe Harry pays them. I don't know. They're all going up in arms now. But, there's something there that makes you change. I can't understand what it is, but I have to fight against it, I feel. But when you hear that William gave this sort of amazing interviews with Eugene Levy, who's also a journalist, and Rain Manning, which was about people who commit suicide. He talked about that very passionately and sincerely and let loose what he felt about himself and other people and how he wants to help them. So I think that you should take more notice of that. And all these people who think that, yeah, that's a very nice man. He was invited to the church for the service as well, actually, because they got on so very nicely. And I think that it doesn't make any sense to me. I think some of the people who are writing it think it's fun, but how anyone can want Harry, who's trying to destroy our whole country and the whole royal family. I have no idea, and some people should know better. And William is the one who's going to be king. He might say no when people go up and ask him if he would like to be interviewed, or they do it through the aides and all that. But he's the one who has learnt a lot, how to be a father, how to be a husband, how to be the heir to the throne. And I think he's doing extremely well. And it's not up to us to tell us how he should tell us all these secret things that he knows. But you can see there's one where he said he had a relationship with someone else. There's another one that's going on. There's 2 or 3 of these saying that William is having huge rows with the king. Absolutely, absolutely appalling. And I went digging in that with very important people, and they said to me, no, it's nonsense. They get on very well. Sometimes they disagree with small things, but there's absolutely nothing. They're closer than ever. Okay, so I believe it. I do believe it. And I think there's a lot of people who try and set something nasty to get their own back.
And Angela, the thing is that the overall risk about what is going on here is that there is a huge push that the mainstream media don't talk about for Britain to become a republic. It is the unspoken thing. The people who control the mainstream media are lefties, and they're Britain-hating lefties, they're tradition-hating lefties. Look at what happened during the coronation of King Charles, where the British actress on Woke ITV described the balcony as terribly white. But some of them, Angela, are now coming out and revealing the truth, revealing what they really want. And I want to show you an example of this from the fake news agents. This is the UK podcast hosted by 3 major presenters who used to be the stars of the British Bashing Corporation, the BBC, now coming out openly, Angela, and advocating for the overthrow of the British monarchy. This is why this campaign against Prince William is really happening.
We open with total social rejection, and it's damning. The message is clear: Meghan has burned yet another bridge. Friends, insiders, and power players are furious because she allegedly tried to control optics, delete photos, and hijack attention. This isn't privacy. This is control panic. When people stop taking your calls, Hollywood has already judged you. This is brutal and intentional. The script immediately reframes Meghan not as a misunderstood victim, but as a repeat failure across every platform: business, charity, brand, influence. The fairy tale is over. The scoreboard is visible. Here's where the delusion kicks in. The claim that Meghan planned to woo Jeff Bezos into casting her in a major movie reeks of Hollywood entitlement, the belief that proximity to billionaires equals talent. It doesn't. Hollywood doesn't run on titles. It runs on results. This is where the script goes nuclear. Sources say Meghan's first acting role since Suits was wooden, rigid, painfully self-aware. The most savage line. She made Kim Kardashian look like an Oscar winner. In Hollywood terms, that's career-ending shade. This is the most humiliating detail. She wasn't asked to stretch. She wasn't asked to transform. She was asked to play herself and still couldn't sell it. That suggests something deeply uncomfortable. The authentic Meghan doesn't exist. Industry insiders describe the ultimate acting sin: overthinking, camera awareness, no natural presence. Great actors disappear into a role. Meghan apparently stared at the lens, desperate to be seen. That's not acting. That's insecurity on film. This wasn't about art. This was about ego. Sources say she wanted to prove something. But acting punishes ego. Placed next to real performers, the gap became impossible to hide. This is the psychological core of the entire segment. Angela Levin dismantles Meghan's brand with one line: she doesn't know who she is. Different personas. Different causes. Different performances. No center. No truth. Only optics. This section is savage. Cuddling victims. Posing at disasters. Perfectly framed empathy. The accusation isn't cruelty, it's performance compassion. Heartfelt moments shouldn't require a photographer. The Thomas Markle situation detonates sympathy. A daughter who lectures the world on kindness won't speak to her own father. The moral contradiction is devastating, and audiences feel it instinctively. This is key. Producers and directors didn't reject Meghan because of hate. They rejected her because she can't disappear into a role. She's too self-important, too self-aware, too obsessed with control. Hollywood smells that instantly. The Jeff Bezos-Lauren Sanchez angle explodes quietly. The claim, Meghan overplayed her hand socially, took attention, made power players uncomfortable. And just like that, doors closed.
Ever see King William V, given everything going on around the royal family?
Yes. With a bit of luck, hopefully not. All I want for next Christmas is a republic.
Oh, you're
Is it that
so
much to ask?
predictable.
Oh, I'm predictable, right, okay.
No, I'm unpredictable because I'm saying that I think that the royal family, with him as king, would change quite substantially. It would still be the royal family, but I think a lot of the flummery would go. I think it would become more Scandinavian, more slimmed down as a monarchy. I mean, what it does with the kind of the Duchy of Lancaster and the Duchy of Cornwall and all that sort of stuff. I mean, those are...
When they went around on their Caribbean tour, it looked so colonial. They were being carried around by local people there. I'm not sure I buy the idea that they're terribly modern, those two, the Prince and Princess of Wales.
The question from Laurie is, given everything going on around the royal family, I guess he's talking about the sort of demise of Andrew and the titles and all the rest of it. And the only thing I'd say, Laurie, is I think what happened with Andrew in the last 2 months was precisely to enable the sort of regrowth of the royal family in a totally different direction. I think that's what was at the front of the king's mind. I want to do this so that my son doesn't have to deal with it when he comes to the throne. So I don't know if that works, but I think there probably will be a King William V, don't we think?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if there'll be a King George VII, as in Prince George, whenever, presumably William becomes king and is around for several decades.
And we're sort of thinking
hence.
lucky boy, aren't we?
Well, yeah, I hope the lad gets away from that gilded prison sentence, to be perfectly honest, because I think it'll be absolutely appalling for him, like it's been for the rest of them.
So, Angela, there they are, the three former stars of the BBC, saying the quiet part out loud. They want the overthrow of the British monarchy.
Well, I take that, they are now allowed to say what they want, like you do, like I do, but you're much, grander than me. You have the whole thing, how you want to do it. Pardon?
Hardly.
No, I meant you've got the ability to get people in, the right people in. You want to talk about it like that. They do the same thing. And the three of them are not very friendly, nice people. They know what they like, they know what they don't like. And it's sort of, they feel it's their chance to say what they really don't want, which now comes up an awful lot because people don't listen to the BBC or Sky or anything like that. They do it themselves, so they feel grand about it. I don't take any notice about that whatsoever, because those people, I know what they've thought about for the last 10, 15 years. It doesn't interest me at all. So it doesn't change my views. It doesn't make me get anxious. They just don't know what's going on, really. So they come up in their own thing. Look at the back here, about what he said about George. Oh, gosh, I hope he doesn't do it. How do we know what he feels? We don't know anything about him. He's actually enjoying enormously his trips he's had. One for people who, after the army, 80 years celebration of the army, and also the other thing of talking to the people who used to work hard in the army, and he apparently loved it. He wanted to come and he had a long chat. We don't know that. We've heard it now. That's good. He's enjoying himself. But we don't actually have to decide what other people are thinking.
Indeed, but Angela, what we
did
see on Christmas Day was quite something. And I know that you have said that Princess Charlotte, really did prove that she is going to be a secret weapon of the royal family. Now, of course, we were on a little hiatus, Angela, running some of our earlier content over Christmas. So let's take a look at this in case folk missed it. Even if you didn't, I know you're going to enjoy seeing this again. So here was Charlotte on Christmas Day. Look at that big hug. And then there was this fascinating interaction between a royal lover and Prince William and George involving Princess Diana. Watch.
I've got this for you.
John, how
First of
are you?
all, happy Christmas, William.
Very happy Christmas.
First, I've got something to say to you.
Louis, come and say hello to John.
I've got something to say. First of all,
Hello.
George,
happy Christmas.
John.
Happy Christmas,
Charlotte.
George. Happy Christmas, Charlotte.
Happy Christmas.
George, I've got something to say to you. Nanny Diana would be ever so proud of you.
Thank you.
All right? I'm proud of you all. All
That's
right?
very kind of you, John.
And first, I've got to tell you this.
No, you've got a big one. That one's for you.
Where have you brought that from?
John Lewis.
It's George, the same size as you, Louis. You have to carry her back.
Sean, we've got
So I
your
carry the
book.
chocolates and you carry the teddy.
I can't believe how tall George is getting.
Thank you so much.
You take me, John.
He's going to be tall. He's going to be about 6'4".
Well, one day.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Very
George.
happy Christmas.
God bless
Merry
you.
Christmas.
And what's
Merry
George?
Christmas.
Give my blessing to all your family. And Diana would be ever so proud of you. You're badly. All right? Bless you.
Now, what's so wonderful is to see what Charlotte did in that moment, which she appreciated was awkward for young George. Look at this. So she's listening. He mentions Princess Diana. John does. And there she goes. The very slight, brief tap on George's back, just to say, we've got you here, George. You dealt with that well. Catherine then encountered John. Watch this.
They've been given to
Did you
William.
see William and the children?
I did.
Hooray.
And I
Good.
said to your son, George, I said, Diana Lanning would be ever so proud of you, George. And he always said to me, very
I
touched.
agree.
And I said, I said to William, your husband, I said, he's going to be 6'4", he's going to be taller than you.
I know. I swear he's catching up with
So
everybody.
These
isn't
are
he?
especially for you.
That is so kind of
And
you. Thank you so
and
much.
you always have my prayers.
Oh,
All your family. I
thank
pray for you all
you.
the time.
That
And
is
they
so-
all know that at the Westminster Abbey I've come to see you.
Oh, good. I hope you had a good sing
And
along
I'm
this
glad,
afternoon.
I'm glad to share Christmas with you.
Hello, very nice to see you.
Catherine, this is for you.
Thank you.
Don't leave them.
You
These
are
special
so
ones.
I know they are very special. I love the colours.
They've
The
all
roses.
come from Clapham Junction.
You are
London.
so kind. Well, hopefully I'll see you at our next engagement.
I will do. Bless
Thank
you.
you. Happy Christmas. You too. Very nice to meet you. Are these for me too? Oh my goodness, everyone's so generous. Thank you very much. Hello. Hello, very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you tonight.
Well done, John.
Now, Catherine was actually on great form on Christmas Day because some poor bloke, the moment that she came over, his chair broke. And she joked that maybe he'd had a few too many Christmas pies. A little bit risque for Catherine, but I loved it. Watch.
That's very kind. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming to see us. Merry Christmas, Kate. Merry Christmas to you.
What have I done for that? I'm fine, thank you for daring. It's all good. It's a little short and it wasn't at the start. It's all right. I'm standing. I'm still standing.
Nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you. Hello. Hello.
I think I borrowed off these people here, so I'm going to apologise to them shortly. I suspect there might be a wait limit. And that's before Christmas dinner.
She with me. You can tell she was thinking, do I say it? Do I make the joke? Do I make the joke? I'm glad you did, Catherine. One more. I've got to show you one more. Louis snatching the chocolate from William was so good. What?
Charlotte, Merry Christmas. Charlotte. You're welcome. Merry Christmas. That's for Louis. That's for Louis.
Yeah, Louis.
And we've got these for George.
That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you. Thank you very much.
Merry Christmas.
Very happy Christmas.
Merry
to you.
Christmas.
Have a lovely day. Very happy
Thank
Christmas.
you.
Very happy Christmas. Nice to see you.
Merry Christmas, boys. Christmas.
Very nice to see you.
Merry Christmas, Louis.
Have a nice day.
Merry Christmas, George. Merry Christmas.
Oh, Angela Levin, so many great moments from Christmas
Yes,
Day.
brilliant.
But it is, and I read your Substack on this, it is Charlotte, isn't it, who just proved that she had that royal poise, and she is going to be a force, I feel, Angela.
Yeah, I just said that she's only 10, and yet her understanding
Unbelievable.
and her instinct is well over that. She's just charming, and she knows what to do, and she watches her mother very carefully, so she does similar things to her. I mean, sort of putting her hand round her brother just for a moment is too sweet for words, isn't it? Because he knows that's a thing that he can do. She can do, and the mother can do that too. And as for that, look at that picture.
Oh, wasn't that a marvellous moment, Angela? I
Yes.
actually watched it on Christmas Day in New Zealand, because you know, in New Zealand is 12 hours ahead of the UK.
She's got her hand there just by her.
Oh, it was lovely.
So it's just giving her a bit more courage. And actually, it's very, very. I played the piano for a long time, and I taught it with beginners for a long time.
Oh, did
and
you?
if you just have one hand, you can learn really quite quickly. But if you have two, it's very difficult because you're doing two different things. So her mother coming in and doing one and her doing the other one was a brilliant idea because it was easy, smooth, and they did it. I mean, for a girl of 10 to do that in front of so many people on such an important day takes a lot of energy. And then look, you can see how happy they are.
Oh, it was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. No, a really charming and special moment. Angela Levin, our Royal Mastermind, thank you so much. And of course, if you do want first access to our Royal...
This is the quiet truth. Going back to acting wasn't ambition. It was desperation. Netflix didn't want her. Producing didn't work. Charity fizzled. This was the last card. The script reframes the infamous engagement interview as a performance from day one. Looking back, the doe-eyed adoration now reads as method acting, not romance. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. The narrative shifts strategically. Former BBC figures are accused of rebranding Prince William as the villain to protect Harry. Despite the book, the Netflix series, The Attacks on Catherine, The Attacks on Camilla. Somehow, Harry is still framed as the victim. This is the most dangerous section. Claims that William controls the media, silences critics, manipulates access. Angela Levin calls it nonsense, and insiders back her. This isn't journalism. It's agenda-driven character assassination. Here's the bigger picture. This isn't just about Meghan or Harry. It's about dismantling the monarchy itself. Former BBC stars now openly admit they want a republic. Prince William is the obstacle. So he must be discredited. The mask slips. The media figures don't even pretend neutrality anymore. They openly fantasize about abolishing the monarchy. This explains everything. The attacks, the selective outrage, the silence on Harry's actions. And then reality hits. No acting. No lectures. No scripts. Just William, Catherine, confident children, natural warmth. Princess Charlotte's instinctive care for George becomes the moment of the broadcast. This is authenticity you can't fake. The contrast couldn't be starker. One side, performance control, image obsession, media manipulation. The other, stability, growth, confidence, quiet authority. And the public sees it. Now I want your honest take. Was Meghan's acting comeback always doomed? Has Hollywood completely clocked her? Is the media protecting Harry while attacking William? And did Christmas Day prove who the future really belongs to? Drop your opinion in the comments. Like if this breakdown said what mainstream media won't. Share if the contrast couldn't be clearer. Subscribe for fearless, uncensored royal commentary. This wasn't just a bad performance. It was the collapse of a carefully scripted illusion.